week we could not engage the session because uh, I was held up elsewhere. So we are in 13th chapter, which talks about Kshetra Kshetrajna, discrimination of Kshetra Kshetrajna. In the true sense, there is no discrimination, but for our understanding, these are the two new terminologies as per Vedanta, as per Bhagavad Gita. So here, before he enters into that, he says what is the kshetra and what is the true knowledge in order to understand what is kshetra, what is kshetrajna. This is the term is a deeper one, but basically it refers to the external body and nature outside, and kshetrajna is a consciousness which is there within the body as well as outside. So the entire cosmos or the universe is made up of uh, apparently two divisions. That is the consciousness and the nature. Consciousness and nature. Uh, Swami Ranganathananji, whose commentary I'm referring for today's session also, always. So he says there are two philosophies. One is Sankhya, the other one is Vedanta. Sankhya philosophy actually differentiates the two, that consciousness and Prakriti. Vedanta, and which Bhagavad Gita endorses, is that both are same. Krishna himself has told in the earlier chapter, para prakriti, apara prakriti. My nature is twofold. One is this nature universe, which is filled of gunas and differences, which appears to be different. The living, non-living, different people, different mindset, different gunas. We have discussed about the various types of personalities based on gunas. So all this, which appears to be different, that is Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti. Paraprakriti is higher one. That is the pure consciousness. So basically, I'm the same, but it appears differently. So similar thing is explained in this chapter. He says, you must know this. What should you know? You should know this nature as kshetra. Kshetra means first he refers to the body. That is the field in which everything is happening. This body is a miniature of cosmos actually. If you remember, I have mentioned Swami Vivekananda's and Upanishads terminologies, which is called microcosm, macrocosm, Pindanda, Brahmanda in Sanskrit and in Sanskrit. Pindanda is this microcosm. This whole body is a cosmos by itself. It's a miniature of the cosmos which is outside. If you see even the scientific discoveries, or the colors, whichever man-made things, are all inspirations from the nature outside and from the nature inside. Computer is the best example of the brain, isn't it? So likewise, he says there is microcosmos, this body, macrocosmos, which is the external world. So that both of them, without the consciousness, constitute kshetra. Basically, he refers to the body. Body means with all its nature and its interaction. That is the field or the place where everything is happening based on that consciousness or cosmic intelligence. It plays through this field, and there is a consciousness, there is this body with all its everything, all the composition which we have discussed, the mind, intellect, physical body, sense organs, and its interaction with whatever it sees, how it reacts, how it stores, how it accumulates the karma. So all this is happening automatically, but there is also a free will, limited, small free will, which makes the choices, which if awakened, if used properly, will try to modify these gunas. So there is a consciousness, that is kshetrajna. He says, I am the kshetrajna. I am that kshetrajna. And about that is today's discussion. Previous 10 shlokas, 11 shlokas, we have discussed what is actually kshetra, what is this body, and we discussed that how it should be, how you have to use and how you have to behave, and that knowledge, that being, implementation of this knowledge is actually how is what a kshetra is supposed to be. Kshetra is raw. And when you use your choice and you make an attempt and try to do that, those qualities which he says, amanitvam, adambitvam, ananya bhakti, many things he has described as he described in Bhakti Yoga, 12th chapter. He says, do not in vairagya, nirahankara, and not always being attached to sorrows and or happiness, and ahimsa, kshanti, acharyopasana, shaucham, stairyam, atmavinigraha, that means cleanliness, control of senses, all that he describes. And that he says, this is what is happening. This knowledge is actually the true knowledge. True knowledge is understanding and being. Being means you implementing that knowledge. That part he has covered. Now he says, now today, and then he talks about bhakti also until 11th chapter, 11th verse. And in essence, he says constant application to spiritual knowledge, constant, consistent application, and realizing the purpose of this true knowledge is declared to be the knowledge, and whatever is not it is considered to be ignorance. That means we are supposed to use our intelligence, our uh, all our faculties of brain and the mind to get this knowledge, to be what he has told. That is a true knowledge. And if you think a little bit logically, you'll understand it's easy to by heart these tables, or memorize some paragraphs in science textbooks or this one and reproduce and get through examinations, but extreme and get even Nobel Prize. I'm not condemning that. That's of course the highest science, but getting through our samskars, getting through our tendencies is the toughest thing. So crossing that and realizing that is a true knowledge. Any knowledge which is not reaching there is limited. It says ignorance means we need not condemn any knowledge, any science, any aspect of this worldly knowledge or education which guides us towards this direction is the true knowledge. And that culminates in when we actually become that. We become all this amanitvam, adambitvam, but it doesn't end there. Now, today's shlokas say these are still the prerequisites. We were at a very basic level. Then we learn that whatever knowledge we have acquired to fulfill our basic comforts or whatever technology developments we are doing for the welfare of human beings is still limited. Until, of course, it is done, until it is done with this attitude, this highest attitude, it will not be considered as a true knowledge. When we cross that step also, when we start understanding that we have to be like this, apart from doing our social service, helping others, there's another level. That also does not end there. But still, that he says, being that personality, which goes beyond sattvic actually. Tamasic, rajasic, sattvic, it is going little beyond that. So that is a true knowledge. But now today's he goes one step beyond that. What is that? Let us see. But whatever we have discussed so far are the fundamental steps for to go to reach this higher state, which he is going to describe now. So 12th shloka now. Neyam yat tat pravakshami yad jnatvam amritam yad jnatva amritam ashnute anadimat param brahma na sattanna sat uchyate. So he says, now I am going to describe that which has to be known. So partially he has told that now already so far, how we have to change our approach, attitude, personality, and clear off our negative tendencies. So beyond that, still he says, I shall describe what has to be known, knowing which one attains to immortality, the immortal supreme Brahman. Neyam yat Chami. What is to be known, I shall tell you, and by knowing which you will become immortal. That means liberated. You become liberated. One, you become the consciousness itself and supreme Brahman. It is called neither being nor non-being. all the shlokas now will have such paradoxical statements. It's very interesting, but slightly it will be a little more subtler, little more deep, which we need to be open to understand. So he says, I am going to describe the one which has to be known, Neyam. Okay, Neyam means one has to be known. He has described few things. Yes, that is true. But what was spoken so far was what is conducive to achieve that jnana, that knowledge. Conducive, amanitvam, adambitvam, bhakti, indriya nigraha, control of sense. All this is, it makes you conducive towards that knowledge, Now, what you have to, the mental and other transformations. But this is not the true intellectual, this one. These are the qualities which are required, but itself is at a very higher level, which we really need to struggle to attain that. But beyond that is something, because everything, even not being unpretentious, he says, don't boast, don't pretend to this thing, don't hurt, all these are at one sensory level. Now we are going beyond that sensory level. That is why it is called a state subtle state, reaching that consciousness. So now he says, I am going to describe all that which makes you immortal and which has to be known. Knowing this, one attains the supreme Brahman. It is called neither being nor not being. So Krishna tells real illumination comes only when we reach that knowledge. What is that? Neya means what is to be known. What is that? He is guiding us now from Kshetra to Kshetrajna. That means towards the consciousness. So there are three aspects: Jnana, that is knowledge, and what is to be known, and the knower. What is to be known, the knowledge, and the knowledge is Jnana. Jnaya is Jnaya. What is to be known, and the Jnata, that is the person who knows. All these three, they say, once you attain that consciousness, initially, I need to know this. I am the knower. I am the person who is trying to understand. And this is a knowledge. And I need to know. What is that knowledge? What is to be known? There is so much knowledge available. What is that true thing? Neyam means what should be known. That means the mother of all sciences. I had already mentioned the science from which everything comes. All other sciences, all other faculties come. So that is to be known. That is Neya. And knowledge about that is knowledge. And Jnata is the one who's understanding. So what is a true knowledge? True knowledge is nothing but the pure consciousness. Knowledge means, as we said, being. Means getting into that pure consciousness. So he says that I will talk about all this. Anadimat Param Brahma. One thing we must understand, we were discussing some time back, how did the creation start? So I got some clarity from my teacher, Swami Nirbhayananda Saraswati. He said there is nothing like creation. It is only a manifestation. It has been there. So we can never call it as creation. It is only a manifestation. In Bhagavad Purana also they says sarga means creation, but it is a word actually to be used for manifestation. Everything is in its seed form. It gets manifested, it gets annihilated. Again, it starts manifesting. So this cycle has been happening. Anadimat Param Brahma. When it has started, when it is going to end, we don't know. But why it has started, it is there. We never know. And I already was discussing with Padmaja. When we become that pure consciousness, probably we will not even question anything. It says when you merge, when you become immortal, that means Amritam. He says Amritam Ashnute. Amritam means immortality. Immortality is liberation. Liberation means becoming one with that consciousness. Advaitic philosophy. So at that point of time, you will not question just anything. You will just be it. That's all it is. But as of now, at this thing, we must understand Anadimat Param Brahma. Anadi means there is no beginning, there is no end. There is no end. So this whole thing, it has been happening beginningless. It does not have any beginningless. And the last one, Sat, Asat. Sat, Asat. That means it is neither Sat nor Asat. Sat is manifested. Asat is non-manifested. So Brahman is beyond this category. It is neither manifested nor unmanifested. Unmanifested means it still is in the seed form. He is beyond that. He is beyond that seed form. These are all manifestations of the lower energies. Although he starts from Mahat Tattvam and then the manifestation starts, but that pure consciousness is beyond that. So we will go to the next, as we understand more and more, we can understand it better. But at this time, so Sri Ramakrishna's one statement, it seems, this pure consciousness, that is whatever we are talking, Sat, Asat, and more description, all this, no, as long as we are speaking or we are discussing, as long as we are bringing it in the form of words or writing or discussions, it is not consciousness. It is only a knowledge which is being shared. The minute it comes to that consciousness, we don't speak actually. If you speak, as long as we are speaking or thinking, it doesn't qualify consciousness. Consciousness must be experienced, will be experienced only through silence. Sri Ramakrishna Paramhamsa used to tell, it seems, these all these things, Vedas, Puranas, Tantras, they all have become uh, Uchishta. Uchishta means, I don't know, in Kannada we say Enjelu. Somebody has taken it. Actually, somebody has eaten. Enjelu madiddu means what do they say in English? I don't know. That means somebody, we don't offer to God anything which we eat. When we offer to God, ideally we are not supposed to taste or eat. It should be offered in the purest form when we cook something. The minute we eat, we say it's Enjelu. We should not give it to God, or we should not share, because we have already taken part of it. So like that, Sri Ramakrishna also says Vedas and all that. The minute we start speaking, then it becomes like Enjelu, it's into Uchishta. Already we have tasted it. As long as you taste, it is not pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is as it is. Silence. One has to experience. It goes beyond speech, thoughts, words. 100% it has to be experienced, and that experience cannot be spoken. It can, the minute it is spoken, it doesn't qualify consciousness. What he used to do, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he used to teach his disciples about chakras. So Mooladhara, like this. So then all those Manipura, Anahata, all that he'll tell. By the time he comes to Sahasrara, no, before he reaches the final chakra, he goes into Samadhi. Many times he wants to teach his disciples. But the minute he goes there, he goes into Samadhi. He just cannot speak. Live example of consciousness, live. So when we reach that stage, so it has to only be experienced. And that is actually the Kshetrajna. That is why he says Anadi, beyond Sat, beyond Asat. Another example he gives is like there was a doll made of salt, it seems, salt doll. He has given many analogies. You should read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Gospel of wonderful examples, illustrations, story, small day-to-day examples he gives to this explain philosophy, to make us understand. So there was a doll, it seems, it's how understanding consciousness is similar to, if imagine there is a doll made of salt, and this doll decides to measure the depth of the sea, it seems, taking a scale which is made of, again, salt. The doll is also made of salt. The scale is also made of salt. So this doll takes that scale made of salt and goes into the sea with understanding that I can measure the depth of the sea. The minute you go there, you become one. The salt dissolves in that water. So like that, so it dissolves. So it doesn't exist at all. So how will she measure? That means how will the doll measure? Because the doll also did not exist. The scale also did not exist because it was made of salt. Similarly, we are made of that consciousness. And when you decide that you want to dive deep into that consciousness, and as you go deeper and deeper, crossing all this with a strong faith and all those prerequisites which he has mentioned, you become one. And then where is the question of coming out and measuring or telling what is consciousness? This is how Sri Ramakrishna describes the subtlety of consciousness, and that is what is given in Bhagavad Gita. So now he goes further. So all these are attributes of this pure consciousness. Again, as I'm mentioning, I am truly convinced, and there is conviction that consciousness is only whatever we are speaking is to one level of understanding. The true understanding comes when we experience. With Jnana Yoga, we have discussed that. सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमत् लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति. So this consciousness with hands and feet everywhere, sarvatah panipadam, with eyes, heads and mouths everywhere, sarvatho shishiro mukham, sarvatah shrutimat loke, with ears everywhere in the universe, sarva avritya tishtati, sarvam avritya tishtati. It pervades everything. Tishtati means stands there, pervading everything. Avritya means it pervades. This consciousness is not limited to our body. It is there everywhere. It has got its hands and feet everywhere. It has got eyes, heads, and mouths everywhere, ears everywhere in the universe, and it pervades each and everything in the universe. We have seen Vishwarupa Darshan of Krishna in 11th chapter, where he demonstrates to Arjuna about his all pervasive nature in all directions. Creation, that is manifestation, sustenance, and also annihilation. People go into his mouth, everything he has shown. So this should not be taken that literally there are hands and feet which we have not seen. No, he exists in the form of multiple hands and feet of all the living beings in this universe. In this universe, there are so many living beings, animals, plants, human beings, everything. And there are non-living beings. There are physical, things which are there around air, space, everything. Everywhere he is pervading, and through them, that means we have to understand that this consciousness pervades each and everything in this universe. Sarvataha panipadam. So there are certain things which get repeated because our mind should be we have reinforced this thought time and again. Otherwise, it will deviate in another direction. So this consciousness, it pervades everywhere. It is there within the body also and outside also. Everywhere. It has got multiple hands, feet, ears everywhere in the universe. So the God or consciousness is nothing but God. God is nothing but consciousness. He is within us and he is outside. For us to perceive, we take him as a personal God. Krishna with hands, flute, we conceptualize as an image or a picture, or we go to temple. That is very good, very fair enough, as prescribed by Bhagavad Gita also. But beyond that is nirguna. So both have to be taken. When we do upasana, when we consider him even in meditation or in the temples, we say, "Oh God," Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, "Oh Kali." He used to worship her as Kali. At the same time, he used to go into samadhi. So this has to be practiced by each one of us to understand that consciousness in both the forms. So when we want to develop strong connect, it's very difficult to conceptualize in the nirguna nirakara, impersonal form. He's everywhere correct, but connecting that becomes a little difficult. So linking with God can be started, for majority of us, as a personal form, and then keep remembering him as a consciousness. So both should be practiced ideally. That will speed up the process of evolution, speed up the process of reaching the consciousness. So, and this part says that God is not only within us in this body, I am Aham Brahmasmi, but Brahma is also there everywhere. If you have seen that Mahanarsimha movie, when Vishnu appears before Prahalada, not only movie, but even Bhagavad Purana also, when Prahalada sees Krishna, Vishnu, Mahavishnu, so he gives him that blessing. He says, now I am in your I am the consciousness, or I am present within you. and I am present everywhere. I am here right in front of you. But now on, Prahalada, start seeing God, seeing me in everything around you. And that's how he starts looking at the trees, animals, plants, other human beings. He starts actually seeing Mahavishnu there. So this is the greatest, knowledge, actually. Consciousness is within us, within others, within non-living, everywhere. Only difference is if you compare ourselves with the others, we have a higher intellect, buddhi, which speeds up the evolution, which speeds up our connect with God, and which can help in realization. The human birth, human form is the best, most suited for God realization compared to the lower species like animals, and still lower are the plants. We are most evolved species in terms of intellect, but otherwise the same consciousness pervades all the beings and all the non-living beings, and each and every space you can think of in this universe. So he says sarvataha panipadam tat sarvato shishiro mukham sarvatah shruti matloke sarvam आवृत्य तिष्ठति. सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च. So he shines this consciousness. We are describing the attributes of consciousness. Again, I insist, this will be little knowledge about. Complete knowledge comes when we realize, when we experience. But with this understanding only, we can actually meditate and realize. So, Sarvendriya Guna Bhasam. That consciousness shines through by functions of all senses. We are seeing, uh, listening, tasting, all these are senses, functions of senses, isn't it? That consciousness, the functions of these senses are nothing but shining of this consciousness. That means we are able to see, we are able to hear only because it is shining. It is through this intelligence, through that intelligence, because Prakriti is also, it is consciousness only. Vedanta says it is para Prakriti, Prakriti, nature, functioning, not the structure, functioning is shining of that consciousness. Please be understand this completely. But without the attachment, it does not have any senses of its own. It shines through that. It doesn't own the senses. So slight difference is there. Pure consciousness, the para Prakriti, pure consciousness, or the Atman, all are safe. That Atman, that functions, it shines as functioning of senses. The hands are working. That is how the consciousness is manifesting, but we are not aware of that. We think it is our hand, we are doing, I am working and all. Actually, it is a consciousness which is working through this, which is shining. The functions are nothing but its manifestation, it says. But it is devoid. So there are two opposites here, which is very subtle. They say, more you go deeper, no, you will be able to appreciate these paradoxical statement. It is functioning, but it is not attached. That it is not, it doesn't own the, it doesn't own means it is only its functions. It is not attached to that, without the senses, unattached, but sustains. It sustains, but it is unattached, pure, free. It is totally free, but it is shining through that. And it also shines through the gunas. Gunas means each person works in different way, no? So through all those, it is shining. Sattvic also, it is showing. Consciousness only is getting manifested as tamasic. Consciousness only is manifested as rajasic. Consciousness only is manifesting as sattvic. Apparently they are different, but the same consciousness prevails all. It is shining as those gunas, but it is nirguna. It manifests as gunas, but it is nirguna. Itself, it is nirguna. Remember the example I gave of the screen and the projection on the screen. The screen appears to be full of movies, dances, everything. But you switch off, nothing is there. That means that image is not adhered, it's not painted, isn't it? When it gets painted, that screen will become colored. It is pure white. It's just pure white. What is appearing on that is only a projection. How beautiful this is given by Swami Sarvapriyananda, I should say. So it shows, it manifests as though everything, that screen itself has Amitabh Bachchan, Hema Malini, Dharmendra, everybody is there. But when the projector is off, none of them, it is as pure as that. So that means it sustains. This analogy is very good. It sustains and it gives a support. On that it is manifested, but itself doesn't have those heroes, actors, projections. It doesn't have. It is free. Minute you put it off, it's that. So putting off will be like silence. Putting off those images, all these projections are in our mind. So the minute we put off that, be very, very silent, calm. This comes with practice. Then my Guruji told us 2 days back, put your mind, silence your mind. Keep practicing abhyasa. Keep practicing to make your mind cool, silent, and meditate with personal God or whatever. Calm down, control that, and control your desires, control your senses, distractions, everything. When it becomes calm, the mind will start looking deeper, it seems. So it will start searching. It goes, it has to go. That is the property of the mind. When you stop external distractions and silence your thoughts and your silence by words as well as thoughts, then it will start manifesting. That means we switch off the projector. So that time, no images, everything. Then what should come? The screen will come, full of bliss, silence. And that bliss will be much more energizing. They say it is very highly powerful and with bright light, very, very bright. Next is slokas talk about that only. Self-luminous it is. Self-luminous, brilliant. These are all the descriptions that will be experienced, people say. And you just will not feel like that is the highest state. So that is where we are supposed to go. So it will appear, it will shine through functions of senses, but it is without senses. Again, remember that screen and projector always. And it manifests through indriyas or sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam. That means it will shine through senses and through gunas, but it is without indriyas, without gunas, because it is a screen. And unattached, yet sustaining, because without that screen, on which will you project? You have to project, no? And nirgunam guna bhoktrucha itself doesn't have anything, but it will enjoy those gunas. Enjoy means it will experience. Doesn't the screen experience? Are we not projecting on the screen? If I am the screen, on me you're projecting, I'm experiencing because it's happening on my body, isn't it? On my mind. So it is exactly like that. The screen is what we are supposed to reach. And we are supposed to switch off the projector, means switch off those gunas, guna dharmas, properties of those guna. Any guna, including sattvic, is an image. All right. So the screen is not able to manifest because constantly we are projecting something or the other. It is hidden. The screen, white screen, pure white, without any taint, no paint, nothing. It is hidden. It is deeper. And ordinarily, we go watch the movies. Similarly, ordinary man is trying to see this life as those projections. He or she or all of us are not able to go within and see that pure white screen because all our gunas are masking it. Constant projection, constant projection. One or the other projection is going on. Never the mind is free from thoughts. Thoughts of past, thoughts of future, thoughts of present. Always we are thinking, overthinking. So, and we are reacting. More we react, more we get attached to those reactions, more the projections become continuous affair. It becomes a continuous affair. Withdrawal, going deep within, trying to minimize talks also, less talk, less interaction, or being within the worldly thing but not being attached to that. These are the ways by which slowly we can stop those projections. So asaktam sarvabhrichaiva nirgunam guna bhoktrucha. Guna bhokta. Bhokta means experiencer. He is experiencing, but he is nirguna. Screen is not having any paint, but it is experiencing the all those projections. How beautiful it is, no? To understand itself, it is so thrilling. Imagine if we experience that, how beautiful that state should be. And we have to experience. How long we are, Sarva Priyananda Swamiji said yesterday, my another friend was discussing, how long we are going to have again and again the same. Don't we want to experience that highest state of happiness as that of the screen? It's the highest bliss it's in. Don't we want to experience that? So our effort should be towards that. बहिरन्तश्च भूतानाम् अचरं चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् तदविज्ञेयं दूरस्थं चान्तिके च तत्. This consciousness is without and within all beings. As we discussed, it's outside also, it is inside also. Outside inside means there should be some difference, no, between. If there is a house, I will come to that. Anyways, I'll first give the meaning. Without and within all beings. And acharam charamevacha, the unmoving and the moving. And sukshmatvat, it is so subtle, therefore it is incomprehensible. Tad avidneyam, it is incomprehensible. It's very, very difficult. Doesn't say impossible. It's incomprehensible means by ordinary thinking and knowledge. Durastham cha antike cha tat. It is far and also it's near. So all the, as we again discussed, opposites are there in the description of the consciousness. So it is without and within means what? He is there within us and outside. And what differentiates in between? As I said, house is there, outside the house, within the house. There is a wall. So what is that wall? That also is him only. Because the consciousness is, in words of Swami Raghunathananji, it is not spatially limited. It is not spatially limited. We are, this body is spatially limited. The conscious is not. It pervades. There is no, this thing, no barriers to that. There is no barrier. It is within, it is in the wall, and it goes out. Everywhere it pervades. Consciousness is there everywhere. So it's here, it's on my body, outside also. We were discussing about this one pot, which is made of mud, a clay, and it has water inside. And if you keep it inside a river or a pond, there's water inside, there's water outside. That is how it appears. In our body it is there, outside also it is there. What about the covering of that pot? That is made of mud, no? There also is there. But that is our mind, this thing. Until we understand that everything is same, there is a barrier of our samskars. There is a barrier of our ego and all those ignorance, you can say. As long as that ignorance is there, we know that there is a Jivatma and there's Paramatma outside. Once we break that, then Jivatma becomes Paramatma. In other words, the same consciousness is there within the body, but it is trapped in our own complex of Manasu, Buddhi, Ahankara, mind, intellect, and ego. Ego means body sense. Ahankara means sense of body. I am different from the consciousness. That is Ahankara. Apart from the colloquially ego, what we call. Apart from that, this is actually true Ahankara. So what I was saying was, he is there outside also, in the external, and he is within our body. At the moment, we can understand this way. He is within. He is within. We are not, as I said, it's within. But he is not visible to us because of our layers and layers of our samskars, our tendencies, our habits, our attachments to our habits. So that is blocking the expression, complete expression of the consciousness, our inability to realize it. That is blocking. So that once we realize, in fact, many people say this moment you can realize. It's not that it will take time or something. That strong desire to make your mind silent and the will, then it should be possible. That is what. So that is what it says, outside and inside, and moving and non-moving. Atma, consciousness, is also moving. He is also not moving. He is outside as well as he is inside. That means even the scientists say, when you go more deeper and deeper, no, the logic disappears. So we describe property scientifically. If you say, we describe the property of anything, water is like this. Water boils at this temperature, milk boils at this temperature. Or we go to one particular molecule and atom and then say that atoms are arranged like this. Hydrogen atoms, it has this atomic weight, it has this molecular weight. But you go deeper than that. I am again referring to commentary by Swami Ranganathanji. So gives a lot of references from physics and other references also. So when you go deeper, no, what happens is there is no predictable behavior of subatomic things. When you go deeper into atom, no, there is no prediction, and this consciousness is still deeper. It is deeper than the subatomic. It is, that is why it is incomprehensible, but it can be experiential. So at that point of time, the same thing which is moving becomes immobile. So when the universe is functioning, when the sense organs are functioning, it is shining, so it's moving. But when you experience in a sitting silence and you have that realization, it is totally static, not moving. This is how it is described. So it can assume any form which goes beyond logic. So when it go up to logic, no, any logic, any conclusions, anything based on our experiments is logic, is scientific evidence, we can say. But this goes beyond that. This goes beyond the scientific claims. Even there are many nuclear scientists which have described it in this consciousness, because they have gone so deep, and not Indian, in the Western world also. All those very great scientists, they have understood. I mean, they have realized actually, because they have gone so deep into the study of nuclear physics and all that, that they understand that this consciousness is very difficult to comprehend, and it doesn't behave in a predictable. Sometimes they have used the words like it behaves crazily. There's a crazy behavior, because what we call crazy is what we don't fit in the normal expectation. It becomes crazy. But ideally, that is the true nature of consciousness. So this is how it says, crazy with a purpose. I mean, this is how it is. So Atman, it moves. Bahirantascha antascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha. That means acharam means it doesn't move. Also it moves. It changes its form. It manifests like that. Doesn't change, it manifests like that. And sukshmatvat tad avidneyam. That means sukshma means it is very, very subtle. It is very, very subtle. And because it is extremely subtle, avidneyam means visheshatah dneyam. That means impossible to know in any way. I mean, if I read textbooks, or if I memorize, or even if I sit, no, that is not the way it will be known by any ordinary practices. It needs a special vidneyam means visheshatah dneyam, vidneyam. So avidneyam means impossible to know in any way, because it has to be, again, not through ordinary ways. It has to be experienced, and it is far away, and also it is near. Do we agree with that? Why it should be far? We are saying any answers for this? We say God is very far, God is also very near. How he becomes very near to us, and how, when does he become far? In our level we can discuss, then we, other things have to be experienced. So why do we say that he is very far? At our level, let us think in that. Any answers? Do we think God is unreachable, far from our reach? Any answers from anybody? Do you feel he is far? Anybody? Is God far? Swachala?
Ma'am, whenever I do any puja or anything, I chant or repeatedly, if I do continuously, expecting that uh, um, God will, I can visualize the God, or else I can place my mind on Him continuously, but still I am not able to sustain that. Means
Hmm.
then I will feel, I think
You will
maybe
feel what? Near or
I
far?
far.
Far. Okay. You are not, when you feel you are not able to fix that concentration, Patanjali's
Continuous.
dharana, they say,
Huh.
sustained concentration. Then
Yeah.
you feel he is far. When
Huh.
you get his, when you feel him, or when you can get his picture or
Huh.
something, feel, when you feel, then he's
Huh.
near. So both you are able to.
Huh. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Any other answers? Mallikarjun, anything? Okay. So anybody else wants to volunteer and say, do you feel God is far or near? Shubha, what is your opinion?
Ma'am, if I in my moment of need, whenever
Ah,
happiness or sadness, whatever, if I think of him, I mean, I have always grown up with the belief that he's right next to me.
okay.
So I never feel that he's far away.
Great.
Maybe that one point in life, when it affected my daughter, that time I was not able to reconcile. It took time, but I came back. But
You
I
achieved
never
it. And
felt he was far.
he was far. You feel he's near.
He's
Okay.
always with me. That's all.
Yes,
I
nice.
always.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
very childlike thing, but
No, no, it
that
should
is
be.
what
It should be
sustains me
childlike.
to
Yes.
that.
No, no, it should be. It should be childlike. Being childlike, that innocence itself takes us to the higher. Anybody else wants to say some anything? Okay. So it,
Intellectually,
yes, Peter.
intellectually um, near. When I
Intellectually
think about
near.
it,
Yes.
yes, yes,
Yes.
near, but emotionally not always so.
Yes. Great. Intellectually, you feel he's near because we know that he's here. Yes, correct. But not in the real. All answers are fair. That depends on our experience. But the true, here we are referring to attainment of consciousness. It is far and it's near. Far because if we have lot of ignorance, uh, it is not I mean going beyond intelligence, as he said. I'm talking about guna. We have lot of samskars and other things to cleanse impurities. Then it appears far to reach experience. We are talking about, yes, one stage we talk to God, we get it sanctioned, bhakti, everything is there. But ultimate reaching that state, that I'm referring to, that is, it can be near or as well as far. Nearness is when we make our mind pure and we decide, and at this moment he can be realized. It depends on our efforts in this janma or janma, because somebody said recently, Gautam Buddha also, 25 births, somebody said, I don't know how what is the source, right? He had, previous to becoming Buddha, he had 25 births of 24 bar 7 of tapas, austerities. So after that he came. So it depends on our previous work, homework, our thoughts, and that makes it nearer to him to experience that pure consciousness. Until then, probably we have, I'm referring to God as experiencing God, experiencing consciousness. So that can be far or near. And of course, it depends on, there's so many things, factors which will take us to him. But the fact that if you at least have that conviction that God is close to me, that also is a good development. But here it refers to experiencing pure consciousness, that sthiti, that bhav, that sthiti, samadhi sthiti. That can be far, that can be near. That is what, as per the thing I have understood. But it goes, everything goes beyond logic, because he says, Sukshmatva tada vidneyam durastham cha antike cha tat. This, because of its subtlety, it is so subtle. Experiencing consciousness. Experiencing consciousness means totally we become one with that pure consciousness. We forget our mind, body, no identity, absolutely no identity. So for that state, at that state, everything goes, that logic, nothing will be there. So that can be far or near, and it requires a special, it cannot be perceived by our ordinary knowledge. So avidneyam means impossible to know in any way. That means only experiencing. This is how they have told, and it is very, very sukshma. So in one Upanishad they say, Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan Atmasya Jantoho Nihito Guhayam. Atman is smaller than an atom. Okay, smaller than an atom, greater than the whole universe. Small, see again, paradoxical statement. Smaller than an atom, Mahato Mahiyan, greater than the whole universe, but it is smaller than the greater means what is a parameter we use to describe that greatness? It depends on that. No, in our ordinary sense, our greatness is different, but this greatness is beyond comprehension. So he is great, and he is also it is consciousness is also smaller than an atom, and it is hidden in the heart of this ordinary creature. It's hidden in me, in you, in the cat, in the cockroach, everywhere that consciousness is there. When we experience, then we are able to be one with the entire, including the cockroach. Everything becomes one. Then there's no differentiation. So it is this consciousness. That's why I gave the title that subtle consciousness. It's highly subtle. It's as subtle beyond an atom, or maybe subatomic also, but it is extraordinary in its potential. Extraordinary. None can be compared. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam bhuta bhartru cha tatneyam grasishnu prabhavishnu cha. It is undivided, but it exists as if divided. Again, paradoxical. It is undivided, but it exists as if it's divided. And it is to be known as Bhuta Bhartru, sustaining the beings and devouring as well as generating. So sustaining, devouring as well as Tadne Grasishnu Prabhavishnucha. Prabhavishnucha. So the first part is you feel it is one. So it is one, but it appears to be divided. That because in me also there's consciousness, in you also there's consciousness. So don't you think it is divided? So this thing was told sometimes me and Padmini used to soul and super soul, but Vedanta says there's only one soul. Sankhya says they are all divided, different souls, but Vedanta says we'll restrict to Advaitic. There is only one consciousness, but it appears to be different. So why does it appear to be different? Because of the gunas, because of the prakriti, it apparently it is divided, but it is one. As we said, inside, outside, him, you, me, that, everybody has the same consciousness, but its manifestation, its appearance, its shining, that appears to be divided, and it will sustain all the beings and it will generate. This we have seen. Next one is Jyotishamapi tat jyotihi tamasah paramuchyate jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam hrudi sarvasya vishtitam. This is extraordinary. It says Jyotishamapi tat jyotihi. That light is the light of all the lights. Everything that is showing the light in this universe, if we take the sun, the moon, the stars, and anything else, this artificial light or the fire, everything is because of this consciousness. That means, how do we get the light? So that is one. And tamasaha paramuchyate. It is said to be beyond tamas. Tamas means, tamasic means ignorance. So this light is beyond ignorance. That means it is a knowledge. It's opposite of light dispels darkness, isn't it? So the ignorance, even we are all in us, we still don't know what it is. We are still learning. We are not experienced. So once we experience, that lights up. All our ignorance is gone. The basic ignorance is differentiation, that everything is different. Everything is different is illusion. Everything is one is a true knowledge. And that is only knowledge in book and words. As Peter said, it's intellectual. Experiencing that consciousness, it will dispel this darkness. And it is the light of all lights. And jnanam, jneyam, jnanagamyam cha. It is the knowledge. The knowledge. Consciousness is nothing but knowledge. It is also the object of knowledge. That means it should be known. What we should know that. We should know that consciousness. And it is the jnanagamyam. It is the goal of knowledge, everything. So little bit of words are, deeper, which we must understand. And it is dwelling in the hearts of all. It is dwelling Jnanagamyam Hridi Sarvasya. It still is within our heart. This knowledge is deep within our heart. And as I said, we are projecting, and that is the ignorance. That projection is nothing but ignorance. So once it lights up, that ignorance goes away. So this is the true knowledge. The consciousness is the true knowledge. It is the goal of our knowledge, and this is the object of our knowledge, and it dwells in the hearts of all, and it is a light of all the lights. So even the Surya, the sun from whom we get the light during the day, he is lit by this consciousness. So all pervading consciousness is responsible for the functioning of Surya. He functions, the Surya brights, that creation, that manifestation of that luminary body. That's the manifestation of the nature. Right. So that what shines through sun, it is this consciousness which shines through the sun. This shloka we had in our school also. Swami Ranganathanji has brought, Natatra Suryo Bhati Nachandra Tarakam. There the sun cannot illumine. Where? In the consciousness. Sun cannot illumine because sun himself is illumined by that consciousness. That means that is self-luminous. Which one? Consciousness is self-luminous, nothing else. And na chandra tarakam, nor the moon. Na tatra suryo bhati, neither the sun shines there, nor the moon shines there, and nor the stars. Nema vidyuto bhanti, nor the lightning. And what to speak of kutoyam agnihi, bhanti, nema vidyuto bhanti, kuto ayam agnihi. Agni means a fire. Do you think your fire will light in that consciousness? No. That means that consciousness illumines, is self-luminous, and nothing. See, when the sun is very bright, the stars don't shine, isn't it? Like that, pure consciousness is the luminary body in this entire cosmos. That is the only one. So no sun can illumine, no moon, no star, no lightning. And tameva bhantam anubhuti sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. This is told in Upanishads. So Atman shines, and these things shine after it. By its light, the whole universe is lighted. So you must understand, whatever is shining, whatever is appearing, if I am talking, that is also shining. If you are listening, that is also the light or the shine or manifestation. All this, apart from the light which we see, everything comes from that light alone. That pure consciousness is Jyotisham api Jyotisham. Jyotisham, all these are very, very trivial luminary bodies. The sun, the moon, and the stars, they're all trivial. That is the luminous. The only thing that is endowed with light as its own nature is the pure consciousness. Light means also knowledge. Remember that. It also is visible in the sensory level, visible in the metaphysical level also. So visible means understanding, clarity. We get, oh, now I am clear. Clear under Kannin. We are not saying I can see clearly and think clearly. My intellect is illuminated. It is illumined. Where does that come from? It is from the consciousness. So very beautiful it is. Light of all lights. God's light lights the universe, lights everything, the sun, the stars, galactic system. Everything comes from this Brahman. And similarly, the physical illumination, as well as the mental, intellectual, and ignorance, darkness goes off. What is the real darkness? What is the real ignorance we all have? Is we feel this world is real. We feel we are under the illusion. That is the reason for all our suffering, our physical suffering, our birth, death, rebirth, everything. It's because we are still not able to realize that this is not the truth. The truth is that pure consciousness. And I am that. I am the pure consciousness. So I should not be worried about anything. So more and more we think about that, more and more we practice all karma yoga, jnana yoga, and everything. Then what happens is that screen starts becoming less projected, and it starts manifesting. And not only that, we experience that bliss. We experience that bliss, that which is beyond anything. So this is the meaning of light. What is that light? So that is a description. And uh, so next one is इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः मद्भक्त एतद्विज्ञाय मद्भावाय उपपद्यते. So he says, thus kshetra, also knowledge, and that has to be known. Iti kshetram, kshetram is this body field, tatha jnanam, that is knowledge, and Neyam, what is to be known? I have told you briefly. And knowing this, my devotee becomes fitted for my state. He's fit for my state. That means just get ready to realize now. Experience that. He's fit. He doesn't say this is realization. No, this is known now to one level. So we can. So he says very beautifully, I have told you about kshetram. That means the field, jnanam, knowledge, and what is to be known, right? And this, if you understand, you or the devotee will be fit for my state. That means mad bhavaya upapadyate. We will be ready to face, ready to experience. All right. So he has told kshetram. So what is this kshetra? This body is just a container which contains that pure consciousness. That is a brilliant gem. Brilliant gem is there in this body. This body has no existence or meaning if it did not have that consciousness. It is the case, but still we have to guard it, because this body and this mind is given to us as evolutionary process, and we should use the body and the mind to express that gem. It is such a brilliant, luminous thing within our heart, as he says, but we are unable to express. So that is where we are supposed to head on. That is where there is a divine spark that is within, hidden in this body, and we have to get ready. And this body is also, it is kshetra, right? Now that is a field where that manifestation, that expression of that gem, that brilliance of that this gem comes when you sow proper seeds into this field. That field means body, mind, ahankara complex. So your thoughts, your this thing, use that free will in this kshetra. So that will be utilized, and you should also use this mind and everything to know. What should you know? That kshetrajna, that consciousness, by all this Upanishads, Vedas, putting all the efforts, use that to understand rather than externalization. So you know that, because both are important. This is the, when you go nearer, you will understand, you will be able to become an observer of your own thoughts, of your own projections, of this Maya. As you go deeper, you will become an objectively, you will look at your mind, everything objectively. So there will be, you can become an observer, sakshi, become very objective, not emotional, not being attached. Emotional, if too much of emotionalism brings attachment. So stand out, observe, and then go deeper, try to reach that state, gain knowledge. Because even Swami Raghunathananji says that even in science nowadays they have started telling that observations, as you go into deep science, observations and observations, the interpretation of those observations is also dependent on the observer. Interpretation depends on the both are important in defining a concept. It depends on how well equipped is the observer. Even in medicine, medical things, if you see, we are mostly concentrating, especially pharmacology, that is my area of interest. Host, we ignore the host. Action of the medications, how do the medications work? Property, it absorbs, it gets distributed, that this blah blah we say. What about the host? Is the host condition suitable for the drug? So both combination makes, therefore kshetrajna, he comes to that observation and the observer. So we are the observer, but we are still have not reached that pure consciousness. Once we become the pure consciousness, once we experience that, we become totally kshetrajna. He says, I'm already there. You are not able to understand because you are in that kshetra. Your mind is in the field. Come out, reach to me. Then you will understand the entire concept. And that is to be known. That is the real knowledge. And This consciousness is there everywhere, everywhere. It appears to be multiple, but it is not. So, uh, Swami Vivekananda, and everybody says, Ramakrishna Mission, everybody, all the spiritual gurus, little bit of this transformation, if everybody does, no, the whole mankind will be benefited. So, giving such values in education or in healthcare, I'm adding this, and every walk of life. No, if we start bringing this concept of reaching the pure consciousness, because how we say, it's already there, it's already within. We just have to express it. We have to explore and express. This will bring lot of ability in each and every student or patients or people around, to bring out the best within themselves. It will give them, it will convince them, saying that they need not go outside for help, it is within. So that builds up the confidence and ability to manifest their complete potential, because pure consciousness is limitless, it's infinite. That means every human being is capable of achieving everything in life. Every human being can become a Nobel Prize winner, every human being can discover something, but it is because of these obstacles. So this brings to the point that any intellectual hard work and all, it's good to be hard work, committed and all. But if one wants to become extraordinary, and everybody has to become extraordinary, then he must work towards this manifestation of pure consciousness, because there is no end. Anybody can become any great person, but working on these aspects, no, these subtler aspects of your personality, all those qualities of a true devotee, Advaita Sarvabhutanam, Amanitvam, Adambitvam, and devotion, and believing in this consciousness which is a supreme. Human beings, ordinarily, this body, mind, it's limited. Only that infinite thing is working, and which I can be, which I can be. There are many atheists which don't believe in God. Swami Vivekananda used to say, it doesn't matter, as long as they believe that I am able to do anything because of that consciousness, then they are believers in God. Let them not take the name of God. But if they believe in that consciousness, then they are as good as, God lovers only. They are not atheists, but they must not become egoistic. Limited human ego, that should not be there. They must say, I have infinite potential in me and I can manifest. So this will take us to greater state, and we all should work towards working. We all should try to be remember this fact that I am the pure consciousness at multiple times during the day. My Guruji recently mentioned this, so I thought I should share with you. I was asking him, should I practice only bhakti yoga? Should I give up all my other things? And because always we have this, not give up, how much I should focus on each. He said combination of four is required. So my Guruji is Ramakrishna Mission sadhu. So he says meditation is Raja Yoga, and puja and chanting and bhajans, that becomes bhakti yoga, surrender, personal God. Meditation, whether personal or impersonal, meditation is Raja Yoga. This is Bhakti Yoga. And you do your activity, your given duties, and whatever you want to do with an attitude of surrender, non-doership, and do not claim the results. That becomes your Karma Yoga. And during the day, keep telling Aham Brahma, I am the pure consciousness. So that becomes Jnana. So all the four must be addressed during a day or during different parts of time in the day. So that will make a real spiritual practice, So it's very beautiful if you really implement. This is the way to go for any human being. This is the way to go in any walks of life, at any age, in any profession we are. That can be spiritualized if we follow this path. I mean, this combination, I was highly impressed because it is doable, and it gives lot of. So you sit for a while and meditate in your department or in whenever you get some time, and say, I am the pure consciousness. I am the pure consciousness. I am the Aham Brahmasmi. I have no limitations. I am the infinite divine by itself. It will take care. And at the same time, in Karma Marga Bhakti, surrender, try to work on our weaknesses. So that complements each other, and that's the way to go ahead. So this is what I have learned. So I wind up here. Any questions or any additions, any of you? Anything? Padmini, any thoughts?
No, ma'am, nothing today.
Kavita, Shubha? Nothing? Okay. Was it clear or anything to be clarified? Peter, anything would you like to add?
It's just that on 16, it made at the end of 16, this is to be known as a sustainer of beings, their devourer and creator.
Yeah.
Made me think of the Trimurti.
16th shloka, right?
Yes.
One second. Yeah. So this meaning, should I explain this meaning?
Well,